Is it going? Yeah. Hey, y'all, what's going on? Okay. So I just got to watching the Whitney movie as well as the interview. And I just had to come in and give my thoughts on it. And yes, I'm still ponytail down and her trying to revert back. Y'all try to put some gel on it. So, and honey, it ain't working out. But y'all my love, so y'all can deal with me like this. And ain't nothing to deal with. This is me. Um, I thought that it was, of course, way better than Wilbur's movie. Um, I think Angela Bassett did a wonderful job on, the music and who she chose, and I think she tried to be, really thoughtful. What I don't get is, as time went on, I began to realize that to me, the movie felt a whole lot like Bobby's story of vindicating his ass. And I don't know, and me saying that is not, me judging him because it ain't for me to judge him. None of us really know how and what fully went down. You know what I'm saying? Whatever Angela, meant to show, I think she did a decent job with that. I don't think she had the intentions of doing anything like what Wilbur did. I think all in all, she did a good job, I think, but I just didn't understand the whole thing about it. Was as if she was trying to show Bobby and less of Whitney. Yes, Whitney was in it, but it was kind of like showing that Bobby really wasn't as bad as you thought, and this and that and other. And when it first started happening, I was like, well, okay, is she just trying to show the attraction between them? And then it got to the point where it was kind of like, and I said this to my husband, I'm sure that she loved him and he loved her, but I believe it was a whole lot of lust there. I think maybe Bobby was some of the best dick she had ever had. And I think that, and this is just my opinion, um, I think that with Bobby, Whitney was probably able to just be her laid back, kick back. I think whoever Whitney Houston was before she left, when she was at the highest point and at the point when she was at the lowest, she was who she wanted to be. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think that everybody had their own thoughts of who and what Whitney was. You know what I mean? One thing about it, she was outstanding. Her voice was just, it's just undeniable. She truly is the voice and will always be that, you know. And with that said, I have to say Deborah Cox, and y'all, I told y'all about Deborah Cox a long time ago, honey. Like I said, they had to scoot on be over to let a whole bunch of these pop girls get in here and do what they doing. And yeah, okay. Anywho, Deborah Cox did a great job. I love the sound. It was close. Of course, she could never, nobody can get close to Whitney's voice. And I always love you. Just, nobody's ever going to do that like she did that, but I think Angela embodied that. I don't know where she was going with the casting for Bobby. I wasn't really feeling the person that she chose, but she probably had her own reasons for that. I liked the girl who played Whitney. I was kind of looking and was kind of like, okay, the whole sex scenes and shit. And I'm like, all right, Angela gone. And, she really kind of stepped out there and tried that. And I do feel like we can't know for sure that there was probably heavy passion between them. And I think that might have been one of the things that Angela wanted to show. I don't think she shamed the family or any of that. I'm sure I'm sure most of them did not like the fact that the way it was played in the movie was that Whitney was the first one pulling the dope out. Now, I don't, when Bobby had his interview afterwards, he said he was asked, when's the first time he seen her do cocaine? And he said on their wedding night. But in the movie, it was like as they met, he went to the house and she's going through, first she's dancing and somebody slides her the drugs or whatever, you know. And I'm like, okay, I think a long time ago we know who, and he already said it, her brother, that he's the one who started her. But I think, just listening to Bobby and just kind of watching the movie, as far as Bobby's testimony in the movie, that was not moving to me. It was I kind of, I don't know. I don't know where Angela was going with that, because I felt like she was trying to tell more of Bobby's story than Whitney's story. But then at the end of his interview, he said that between them two is history. You don't know one without the other. You know what I mean? And it just, I don't know. I don't know. I just think the movie was okay. And I do say kudos to Angela. I think she did a pretty decent job. You know what I mean? I would have rather seen this go on the big screen, and maybe they would have went a little bit more in depth. But with that being said, that kind of takes me to the whole thing that I think was Pat or whatever. She wrote on the damn page that how the family don't want this and let us grieve and yada, yada, yada. Girl, y'all was doing that reality show. Get somewhere and be fucking still. Be still. I imagine today what might have been a little hard for her mother to look at it. But with that being said, I don't believe that she did not know who her daughter was. And that might have been why she was so eager to be with a Bobby Brown. Because with him, she could be who she wanted to be without all of that shit. And the movie was kind of like, oh, you gonna marry him, honey? I tried to keep you and your brother from this type and this and that and other. But during that time, he was making money. He was an entertainer. It's not hard to see, to me, through Sissy, but I've seen her type before. But I just, the movie was okay. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of funny since it's gone off and right now they have her singing and doing her best performances. And I don't know, for me, it's a little bit like, I don't know, it was just kind of hurtful too. Because you watch, even if it was only 60% of what happened or 50% or whatever, you knew, and at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, she was gone too soon. You know what I mean? That she had battled them drugs, and he said it best, Bobby. When this big gorilla keep cornering you 10 times out of 10, honey, it's gonna whoop that ass. I don't know. I think she did a good job, but I just left me wanting something else. And I'm hardly ever really lost for words, because I really don't want to come up like I don't think Angela did, because I think she did. I think the acting was good. The chick who played Whitney, I think she did a great job, honey. And when they had that scene when they was, getting ready to get it in, and he just scooped fingers around, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of women could relate to that. And I was like, I haven't seen that before. You know what I mean? Been there before. So I think Angela kind of bought something. She did okay. She did a good job. I just did not like the fact that it was more or less about almost like vindicating Bobby. It's like it should have been Bobby and then Whitney. I just, and I don't know if maybe that was her thing. And then the whole thing with doing the interview, the chick that she asked a lot of good questions. She even asked about the chick, and Bobby said, no, we heard about it, but no, and that's, Whitney gone, honey. We ain't gonna know for sure. Everything. We're never gonna fully know. I found, and then, watching it, I felt like, okay, here we are in this interview. And again, it's like, okay, so now everybody knows that it wasn't me and this and that and other. But I don't think I think to me, in my opinion, he was saying that where he hindered her because he was into the shit too that wasn't helping her. And I got the impression that she did more drugs than he did from the movie. You get what I'm saying? It was as if he was staying away from the shit, but she was doing it from day one. But in his interview, he was like, it wasn't like she was doing it all the time. Which is it? And then when he was asked the question about the picture when she was thin, and he said, it was just a dress. No, no, it wasn't just a dress. You know, and even when he got out of jail, you could see her, you know what I'm saying? She was kind of at a low point then, I felt, you know, really into what she was doing. And like in the movie, they had the part where it was like she was supposed to go on tour and this and that and other. He was saying he wasn't gonna go, and this is all after they at the little club, and the chick comes up and says, "Okay, Mr. Houston," you know, and he, damn, why don't you just shit on the camera? Ugh. And then your face farted. Anywho, when that part came, it was like, okay, this is the turning point. And then the whole while he's trying to get his shit back. And once he was done, he was done. And then they had to add the scene in when they was in the red and shit. And I thought she did a good job with that because he had on red when she said the whole shit about the greatest man in R&B. And when the interview came and they was talking about the crack is whack and was like, that was funny. Now, what was funny was when she said that. King of R&B. Was that it? Whatever it was. It was a motherfucking joke. I mean, he did what he did. No, we're not going to do that. But that was the love she had for him. You know, and it showed how he felt like he was overshadowed, but then he didn't totally act a damn fool about, you know, I don't know. I felt like in some ways Whitney needed him. She had to have. In some way she needed him. I mean, we love who we love for whatever reasons. You can't never really explain that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anybody ever has to explain why they love somebody.
It's always somebody want to know why. Though.
Well, get you some motherfucking body to love and then, you know, tell your own motherfucking story. Ask your own self that. You know. You know, and I just felt like she needed him. I felt like with Bobby, in a way, this is the feel I'm getting from the movie now when I say this. She was able to be who she wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, I don't know, y'all. I just felt some kind of way. I truly was a Whitney fan, and I will always be one. And I just think we lost out on so much when we lost her, but we lost her long before this. Her singing, when she really, you know, when her voice started changing and things, we lost a lot then. You know, that was the, you know, the beginning or whatever. So I don't know, y'all. I feel kind of solemn or some shit. After watching it, I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I really don't know what to say. I will say, Angela, I think you did a good job and you tried to respect the family the best you could. And you tried to tell.
That should just let the people rest.
Yeah, I think I'm about tired of them. Yeah.
You can't really tell it how it was because you wasn't there.
Right.
And even somebody who was there ain't going to tell the complete truth.
You know, and I don't think that the family really would have wanted for it to be seen early on when in the beginning, honey, she was coming through with, you know, in the movie with her powder and getting that from old dude, you know, and really showing that.
What was old dude supposed to be?
I don't know. Maybe it was the brother. I don't know.
I mean, I heard that come out of his mouth.
Yes, the brother did admit that. You know, and I think even after that, people could not let go of Bobby did it. Right. You know. And he was a user and she was a user too, motherfucking you know, and he said the best he could do was try to stay clean or whatever. And I don't believe all the times that he said he was clean that he was, but you know, he may have been. That's his sobriety. Um, I don't know what they, you know, what they expected for another user to do for a user.
Right.
Besides share that motherfucking dope. You know what I mean? And in the interview, did y'all check when they was talking about the crack is whack and how he laughed? I believe he laughed, and he said, you know, sometimes you laugh at yourself, and I think he was trying to say, however whack she was trying to say it was, she was hitting the horn too. You know, I felt like that. You know, it may not be so. That's just my opinion. But again, ultimately, at the end of the day, she's gone, and she will definitely be missed. You know, hey, nobody can ever fill them shoes, and I don't think anybody would ever really try because it's just not doable. You know,
some that want to, but they can't.
Nobody ever will. It will never happen. Just as no one will ever fill the shoes of Michael Jackson, ever. But it's no question about that. For some reason, I think some people think that there's some kind of way that somebody's gonna come through and be bigger than the voice. No, because she was so much more than that. You get what I'm saying? Her voice was just phenomenal. Well, we know better than that. But Jennifer Hudson, I think, has a nice voice.
She got her own style. She ain't like Whitney.
I think she has a nice voice.
She don't sound like Whitney.
No, she doesn't.
Bad Whitney day.
No, but I don't think she wants to.
She can't.
You know.
She won't start like what Whitney had.
Well, I mean, I would imagine any of them do.
She ain't gonna make it to that level either.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess that's to be seen.
200 million? Not doubt it.
That's a hard cookie for you. Nah. That's true. That's true. But I just think, you know, everybody wants their own, you know, situation. I think that Jennifer Hudson has a nice voice. But Deborah Cox truly showed that she has the ability. Girl, you ain't Whitney, but girl, you can blow. And she's always been able to blow. And the reason why a lot of folks don't know a whole lot about Deborah Cox is because y'all too busy listening to pop and calling that shit R&B. Okay, let's move forward. Y'all, that's my thoughts. I feel some kind of way after this movie. And this may not be the video you want to see. I'm really curious and want to know how y'all felt about it. Am I the only one that felt like it was more like the movie was about vindicating Bobby and making him look better? I don't know. And maybe Angela knew something.
He put everything out there.
Maybe Angela knew something. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think she did a bad job with this. You know, the only casting problem I thought was, wow.
He never denied any of the shit that she asked him that he had something to do with. He never denied no.
Yeah. Y'all answer that. How did y'all feel about the movie? I mean, really feel about it. You know, did it leave you wanting them to do another one and really taking it to the big screen? Which, with that being said, let me say this real quick as a side note, because I haven't talked about this, nor did I talk about the shooting in Paris or none of that. I told y'all sometimes I get too fucking emotional. But on the whole thing with the Oscars, and I was going to say maybe they need to take it to the big screen. First of all, and I just need to add this little tidbit in, fuck that motherfucking big ass candy statue. And the whole thing of them not being diverse with that shit, they never will be. The Oscar. You know, I felt like it was horrible the way they done. You know what I mean? Like as far as blacks and women's, but women at the end of the day, I thought it was horrible. I live and hope for the day that, you know, black folks can really get their just due when it comes to acting and this and that and other, and really having, you know what I'm saying, having a true presence, even though there's always been a presence, but it's always motherfuckers like the Oscars and shit like that want to pull a bitch back. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. How you can nominate the song and so, but you don't nominate, and I'm speaking of Selma, the acting and all of that. I don't get it. With that being said, let me also say this. What is her name? Angelina Jolie. She did a movie with I forgot who she did it with. That was an outstanding movie. And why wasn't she nominated? It's just getting on my motherfucking nerves. And they'll find a fucking way to give that motherfucking, not that I'm taking nothing from her, because, she acts down. And I love the movie Devil's Wear Prada.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, but honey, she ain't gonna be nominated and gonna get a motherfucking Oscar. Shit. I'm sick of this. I'm so fucking sick of it. I'm sick to the point where I have no desire to watch that boring ass motherfucking show. I mean, I will watch the red carpet though, because I do love the red carpet. But the show, no, no. There's been so many. I'm over it. I'm just over it. So y'all tell me y'all thoughts on the movie. I want to hear what y'all got to say because I just feel like I'm on the fence about this, and I'm feeling some kind of way about how it seemed like it was more about Bobby and justifying him. I don't know, and y'all just tell me. I really don't know what to say on this, and maybe I need to just sit on it and marinate. Y'all know me, I'll come back in here again. But just tell me what y'all think. Really, how did you feel about the movie? Did you feel like, it was more Bobby Whitney and less Whitney? You know what I mean? And how did y'all feel about who played Sissy? And just how that shit went. I don't know. Y'all leave that shit below. I'm out. And tell me what y'all think about this motherfucking snubbing of the Oscars and shit. I'm out. Much love.